Hi, how's everything going?
Hope everybody's doing good.
Have a great week. Something happened today that I'm really excited about. Our kids went back to school.
Woo-hoo!
I look forward to this all summer. So the summer's great. We enjoy our kids, and for the first several weeks, it's really great. We have them around, and then as the summer wears on, we're kind of going, it's about time for school to start because we'd like to get the kids out of the house.
Oh, there's your mom. Hi, Mom. I just get really sick and tired of the kiddos being home doing nothing sometimes. Our daughter works, so that's okay. But Braxton, sometimes he just drives me crazy.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't really do much. But next year he will be. He will be working next year.
And he's going to be driving, and he's going to have to pay for his stuff, his car and his insurance, and taking care of it and everything. So
right.
Anyway, so we're glad they're back at school, and it gives us a little bit more break in the morning, and the kids are off, and we have a little bit more freedom.
I can work in peace and quiet. Well, it's all right. They were pretty peaceful. They're teenagers, so Braxton will be 16 and Rachel's going to be 18 years old. I can't believe it. But so they sleep in now, but when they were little, it was so hard because they would be up and be noisy, and it's hard to work from home because I work from home quite a bit and have the kids in the background screaming.
Right.
But anyway, so we had a little incident before school started for our son today. And it
was last night.
Yeah, it was last night. And it was, it was hard. It was very heartbreaking for Jay and I. And, we were kids too at one time, and we kind of went through it. But, he had some issues with some kid at school that he's had issues with in the past.
He has a friend group.
Yeah, like 12 guys.
Right. And they hang out. And they hang out and they have a good time and stuff. But there's this one kid every once in a while that they have this thing called Snapchat, and they do group Snapchat. And for some reason, this kid just tries to instigate people not really liking our son and trying to get him out of the friend group and tell him not to sit with him at lunch at school and this and that. And Braxton comes in and he's just really upset, and Braxton's really sensitive to this stuff, even though he knows he has what? Oh, okay. Anyways, has the ability to. Well, so far everybody watching knows, anyways. But anyway, so he's a good kid though, but he's a little sensitive to this stuff, and he comes in and he's really upset and telling us that this one kid's pulling this stuff again and getting other friends to try to.
Well, anyway, he didn't want to go to school, and
Yeah.
It was just really bad. So we had to sit there and we were talking to him and trying to just get him through it. And we're like, Braxton, you can't run away from it because he's gonna win. The kid's gonna win, right?
Especially if he keeps challenging it, and he keeps going back and forth with this kid, and he goes, what if I just don't go to school? And we're going, well,
that ain't
if you don't go to school, the kid wins,
right?
And this isn't for us. We look at it, we're going, this is just kid stuff, but for everybody else out there, it's kid stuff for them too. But when it's you going through something similar to this, or something that's nothing like what he's going through, but it's more of your marriage or your friendship with one of your best friends, and here you are, an adult, having a friend who's causing issues for you or causing pain to you, and we're trying to guide him because we've already been through all what he goes through. We're just sitting there going, no, you got to understand, you'll get through this, and it's kind of like
God will guide you through this, and He'll get you through when we go through struggles in life. We have to trust and know that He will get us through. This world is crazy, things happen, and He will get us through. So that. It kind of was ironic after we talked last night. Then he was kind of calm and settled down a little, and then we woke up this morning to the verse of the day.
Yeah, the verse of the day.
And there's like no accidents. God is just amazing. So I'll have Jay read the verse of the day. It's from Isaiah 43,
verses 1 and 2. And I'm starting with 1 because it actually kind of sets it up. So it says that God says, "Do not be afraid. I will set you free. I will send for you by name. You belong to me. You will pass through deep waters, but I will be with you. You will pass through the rivers, but their waters will not sweep over you. You will walk through fire, but you will not be burned. The flames will not harm you. I am the Lord your God. I will take care of you." Right.
Basically, perfect. I was like, wow. So, we sat him down and kind of talked to him about that God will be with you. God gives us the strength if we ask Him for it and have faith that He will give it to us.
And we're praying for this boy now because Brax has brought it to our attention to soften his heart and to have him, not be like this. And then today, what happened? Braxton goes to school, and
Nothing
the kid walked up to him and said something to him, like going, I really don't dislike you. I just get irritated with you sometimes. And he was causing all this trouble, and so Braxton's now relieved. He's sitting with their friends. He doesn't really care.
Yeah, and he had a great day. So praise God.
Right.
And it kind of just brought me back to this verse is very similar in a lot of ways to how we started off our life, and we did not build. And there's another verse, and we didn't look it up tonight, but there's a verse that says, "Build your house on the rock and not on the sand," right? Sinking sand. And when Jay and I met, we were definitely not walking with the Lord. I mean, he kind of walked away, and I never even really was.
No, I definitely walked away.
Yeah.
we were having fun, and not in the way that we should with God and all that.
Right. So we built our life based on the American dream. Just make money, have all these possessions, have a family, go on vacation, own a bunch of homes, a bunch of cars. So we built our home on the sand, and none of this, like having that stuff, is not a problem. But the problem was that it was our life.
It wasn't built with God, right?
Yeah, it wasn't built with God at all. It consumed us, everything that we did. So when we started going through trouble, I went down in the quicksand. Like I thought that I was strong in my faith because I started. My road to God started when Rachel was born, so she's going to be 18. Oh, wow. Right. Anyway, so
you've been on your path with God for 18 years.
18 years, yeah. So 2001, when she was born, that's when I'm like, there's a God, and so we started going to church. So my journey started there, but truly, the relationship did not start until I hit rock bottom, and that was when I was in the middle of the desert. If you guys have seen our story, screaming at God, about to leave Jay, and letting everything go, because I thought that if I just replace him with somebody else, it's going to be better. It's going to fix it all. Everything's going to be better. It's going to be wow.
Right.
And that's not true. And why do we fall into that trap?
Well, when you're walking through the deep waters, if you're not counting on God to help you, it's like you're just that, in deep water, and you're about to drown, and you feel there's no hope. And, when the rivers are rushing by you and all of a sudden you step in the water, it's like, when they talk about these flash floods that we have here, they say in 6 inches of water, it can knock you off your feet. In 12 inches of water, it'll pick up and move your car. And now God's not talking about shallow water running by you. He's talking about deep water, and you're just completely overcome and you don't know what to do. And that's where Kimberly was. And of course, as she was going through that, I'm in my own deep water on the other side, trying to figure out what I want to do. And I'm turning to God and praying for her to, hopefully see what his guidance can give her.
Right. And so my worldly thinking at the time was, oh, well, I'll just go get another man, right? That'll just fix everything. Not. I mean, I don't know how many people we've talked to who have been married several times. And I understand that there are reasons why people get divorced. There's
mitigating circumstances, so no judgment.
There's no judgment here, but sometimes they say, I don't know what I was thinking, but I should have never left my first wife because it didn't get any better. Because no matter where you are at, that's where you are, and if there's always going to be trouble, there's always going to be trouble.
Yeah, God made
Deep
it clear.
Waters,
He goes,
there's always going to be.
Paul said, and I can't remember where. I don't know if it was Philippians or he just said, if you marry, you will have trouble.
Well, you'll have more trouble, but.
Yeah, it doesn't matter where you are. It's still, there's going to be trouble. There's going to be pain. There's going to be upset. There's going to be battles.
Hi. Doesn't matter who you're with or whether you're alone. I mean, my gosh, this world is crazy. We all have seen it this week. It's been a little nutty with everything going on.
Oh my gosh, awful things happening in the world.
There's awful things. The rain falls on the good and the bad, and we live in a sinful world where the enemy is here prowling about, and we have to be on guard. And it always looks enticing on the other side, but it's not. I mean, you're still going to have struggles. It's just a different person, different set of problems.
You'll have fun for a while.
Yeah.
And
you'll go through the honeymoon stage.
Right, like we did when you first met your husband or your wife that you're with now. You were excited. Everything was great. And you get into the humdrum life, and sometimes you kind of go, it should be better, and it should be, I'm not in love anymore. What does that mean exactly? I'm not in love anymore. So does anybody stay in love their entire marriage, every moment of that marriage? No.
Not even if you were with a new person. You know, if you go, like, you have all these feelings, right? Those will fade. They fade. Anytime you're
the
with
emotional high will
that
fade.
emotional high,
Not the feeling, not the love.
Yeah, the love is a choice. We've already talked about that several times. It's a
And
commitment.
here we are talking about it again.
Yeah.
It's a choice,
Yeah.
and it's a commitment.
It's not a feeling like they show on the movies and all that stuff. And that's what we're trying to talk about here. Isaiah 43 verse 2 says that God is with you through the trials, through the deep waters, through the fire, and He will make sure that you'll get through it. And this life will pass away.
These moments, these
moments
times
will
that you're caught up in upset.
Yeah, and this life, but none of it really. This is just little stuff. It seems so big and major while you're going through it, and yes, it is. Because there's illness,
It's
there's
your life.
illness,
It's your life.
There's children who are sick, and that is just terrible, and I couldn't imagine. But we have to look at the big picture. We don't understand it. Sometimes we don't understand why things happen the way they do, but we have to trust. Trust to know that God is in control, and He will see us through it. And at the end, we'll all go, "Wow, now we understand," right?
Yeah, some people ask, why did these bad things happen to good people, and why do these things happen the way it is? And people go, well, you have someone come to you and say, well, it's God's will. Well, I don't agree with that. It's not God's will that you're going through any pain, any upset, any death, having someone die in your family, someone dying close to you, someone very ill next to you and close to you. He never wanted that. When He created this world, none of that was supposed to happen. It was never His intent. So all He can do, because of what's happened in the world that we live in now, is He can only help us get through it. He can only guide us. The love that He wants to give us, and we accept it and get strengthened by it, is help what gets us through these difficult times. And when the things really start to fall apart and you draw closer to Him, He gets you through it. He can't keep it away from you. It is not His will that if you ever had a child die, it was never His will. If you're very ill, it is not His will. If you're trying to overcome something, an addiction and all that, it is not His will that you ever had that. It's not a trial that He gave you. He is not testing you. He doesn't do that. God wants to help you get through it. He wants you to choose Him, love Him, and He will always strengthen you to get through these things, because it's not His will that you are going through trials and fire. Sometimes it's our own choices that get us to the trials and fire.
Consequences of
there
our
we go.
choices,
Sometimes it's
absolutely.
consequences, but sometimes things just happen out of the blue that don't make any sense to
Right.
us. But it was never His will that anybody should die. We were supposed to live eternally when this world was created, and that got changed. And now we live through this. But it's, again, I want to just kind of revert back to the idea that whatever you're going through right now, and not all of you are, some of you are watching this and trying to help others and be friends to them. Please remember, as you went through the things that you went through, it's easy for us to stand on the outside now and look at that and go, you'll get through this, you'll get through this. But please remember, the person you're telling that to can't feel that right now. And they are trying to get through it, and they can't see it. You're on the other side, you've seen it, you've been through it, you experience it, you know they're going to get through it. Just encourage them, pray for them,
Be there
pray
to
with
love
them, and just love them.
We need to love each other more. Oh my gosh, this world is full of hate. So much hate, and we just need more love. Yeah. But just love them, pray with them. They'll get through it, and
you can't fix them.
No,
So
no.
And by the way, Kimberly and I have tried that with people before, and guess what?
It
doesn't really work, and they don't want to talk to us because we're always trying to fix them.
Right.
What you really want to do is just love them and support them and listen to them,
pray
and listen to them, and then listen to them again, because that's what they need, is a good ear.
And then the other thing I was going to say was, I remember when we were going through tough times, and I would talk to my sister-in-law, and she would always say, "This too shall pass. This too shall pass." And I was just like, alrighty then, I guess. I mean, but it is kind of like one of God's promises. And so I just held on to that little tiny glimpse of hope. It was there. I saw it. And that's what I held on to. And like I said, I just started diving into Bible verses, being involved in Bible study.
Being with people who are
loving people, just people who were supportive and didn't tear down, and people that were there to just really love and keep you positive and motivated, and my whole perspective has changed. So, and I praise God for it, because and it's funny because when you come out of the fire, you are refined. You really are, and it does get you to a better place, and you're like, wow, I'm a better person for that. So I'm thankful for it. It was hard going through it,
Both
and
of us
I would
are.
never want to, I don't know.
We don't want to go
I
through that
do
ever
it
again.
but
What do you mean? You want to go through it again?
I don't want to go
What?
through it again, but I wouldn't change it, right? Because it's who we are today.
Right.
It's what makes
it made us who we are, which is
today.
who we needed to be, because where we were wasn't where we needed to be.
And God
where
has
we
a
are
plan.
now is much better.
Yeah. So anyway, thanks for watching, you guys. And again, I'm going to reiterate the fact that, because some people come on for the first time, we do have our story on our page, the Relentless Love page, and it's pinned to the top, and it's got our logo, and it says, here's our story, and it's about 30 minutes. So if you haven't watched our story, go on there and watch it, and then share these videos, comment, like them. It definitely gets out there, because all our heart is to help marriages and to help you guys get through, to know that on the other side, that it can be a season, and we all go through seasons, but we're doing great on the other side, and God just gets you through, and
Doing better on the other side. 'Cause
Yeah,
where we were
we're doing
before
better.
wasn't great.
Yeah.
We thought it wasn't. And as we were going through it, it was awful. And then when we're through it, we're going, wow, now it's great.
God takes
It's
you to
worth the
another
struggle.
level.
It's worth that
It
struggle
really
when
is.
you're all through it. So.
And it's not a worldly thing. It's a God thing. It's the intimacy that we get, and it's a God marriage now.
And it could be like that.
It's
We're gonna have to,
It's like crazy. It's just. It's awesome. But anyway, we love you guys. Have a great week. I'm so glad the kids are back in school, and I hope you all have a blessed school year, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.